Today, we're diving into a terrifying true story sent to us by a factory worker from Uttar Pradesh, India. It's a story about a remote factory, a room that was always kept locked, and a haunting that absolutely refused to stay put. Okay, that is an absolutely bone-chilling thing to see in your mind's eye. But believe it or not, this wasn't where the nightmare began. This was a premonition of where it was headed. To really get what led to this moment, we have to go back to the beginning, back to the factory. So, let's meet the person at the center of all this. A young guy named Amit Prajapati. He needed a job, and he found one at a packaged drinking water factory not too far from his village. This all takes place in 2025. Now, the factory itself has a pretty strange vibe from the get-go. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, about 20 kilometers from Amit's home, and the workers actually live there in rooms on site. But here's the really weird part. It's got 2 floors, but it comes with one very, very strict rule. The office upstairs, it has to stay locked. Always. No one under any circumstances is allowed to go in there. That right there sets a pretty sinister tone, doesn't it? So Amit's been on the day shift for about a month, everything's normal. Then he gets moved to nights. And this is where his isolation and the terror really begins. He's often working completely alone with this massive, incredibly loud bottle-blowing machine. Just try to put yourself there for a second. It's late, like 11:30 at night. The only thing you can hear is the constant, deafening roar of machinery. And then, over all that noise, Amit hears something impossible. A voice. It's faint, but it's clear, and it's calling his name from just outside the factory's locked back gate. At first, he probably thinks, oh, it's just one of the guys. Maybe he needs help. So he goes to check it out. But this is where things just escalate from strange to flat-out terrifying in a matter of minutes. At 11:30, he hears his name. By 11:45, he's at the gate, but there's no one there. A minute later, the only light bulb outside just pops, plunging him into darkness. Then he catches a reflection on the machine, and he sees it. A 7-foot-tall man standing right behind him. And before he can even react, the lights inside the factory die, and he is thrown violently against the machine. So he's running for his life, right? He scrambles out of there, and just as he does, he glances up. And wouldn't you know it, in the window of that locked, forbidden upstairs office, a figure is watching him run. You'd think getting away from the factory would be the end of it, but no, not even close. The next morning, Amit wakes up with a raging fever. His whole body just aches. His supervisor sees he's in bad shape and tells a coworker, a guy named Sonu, to take him home. But the journey home isn't an escape. As they're riding on their motorcycle, they get near this big old peepal tree, and suddenly they both hear it, a painful, agonizing cry for help. And it sounds like it's coming from the tree. Sonu is just so shaken up he can't even think about riding the rest of the way home alone, especially not past that tree again. He decides he'll just stay the night at Amit's place. And that single decision, well, it pretty much sealed his fate. The haunting had just found a new person to focus on, and that night, the terror just follows them home. Around 1 in the morning, Amit is woken up by the sound of running on his roof. It sounds like 3 or 4 people up there. He turns on his phone's flashlight, points it at the ceiling, and right above him, he sees the dark shape of a man. At this point, his family is desperate. They take him to a local cleric, a holy man, and the cleric takes one look at him and delivers this bone-chilling warning, confirming every single one of Amit's worst fears. He gives Amit a protective black thread to wear, which is meant to act as a shield. So with this protection from the cleric, Amit actually starts to recover. You'd think that's good news, right? But the evil from the factory, it didn't just disappear. It just shifted its focus. It found a new host, his friend Sonu, the one who was with him that night. And Sonu falls violently, terrifyingly ill. And you can see here just how different the haunting became. With Amit, it was a physical attack, a clear warning to get out. But with Sonu, oh, it was a whole other level. It wasn't just a haunting anymore. It became a full-blown possession. The terror was constant, psychological, and it followed him everywhere. He was now the target. Sonu starts calling Amit, and he's completely frantic. He's describing these horrifying visions, and this is where that quote we started with comes into play. He tells Amit he saw his own dead body lying in his house, his family weeping, his cousin preparing his funeral bier with these completely white eyes. And the attacks are becoming physical for him too, and brutal. He says that at night, 4 figures come into his room, block the door, and just beat him, leaving his back covered in scratches and bruises. Amit knows exactly what's happening. These are the spirits from the factory. So he rushes Sonu to see that same cleric. But this time, it's so much worse. During the ritual, not one, but 5 or 6 terrifying different voices start speaking all at once, out of Sonu. It completely overwhelms the holy man. The cleric basically admits defeat. He says, I can't handle this. Whatever has a hold of your friend is too powerful for me, and he sends them to someone else, a tantric, a person who deals with more intense occult rituals. And this new ritual is just wild. As the tantric starts chanting, Sonu's body literally begins to levitate off the ground, all while these horrible voices from inside him are just screaming vile abuse. The tantric realizes this is some serious stuff. He comes up with a 3-part plan. First, a sacrifice. 4 roosters on the next new moon. Second, a binding, a black thread tied around Sonu's waist to try and contain the spirits. And third, a very stark warning. Do not, for any reason, leave Sonu alone. Not even for a second. So, the night of the ritual comes, they sacrifice the chickens, and then something absolutely horrific happens. Sonu gets up, grabs the raw, dead chickens, and starts devouring them, just tearing into the flesh like a wild animal. Whatever that binding ritual was supposed to do, it failed. Back at home, Sonu is just gone. His mind and body are completely taken over. He's withering away like something is literally draining the life out of him. His behavior becomes monstrous. He's speaking in strange voices and even starts eating his own waste. His family is just watching him waste away in complete despair. They decide they have to call another, even more powerful priest the next day. But the things inside Sonu, they overhear this plan. And it seems they were not going to risk another ritual. They weren't going to be exorcised. As the story grimly puts it, the next morning, Sonu was gone. They had taken him with them. So Sonu's tragic death brings up the biggest question of all. What was the source of this incredible evil? Well, the answer was waiting right where you'd expect, back at the factory, inside that locked upstairs room. You see, while Sonu was sick, Amit and a couple of other workers, their curiosity and fear just getting the better of them, they broke the #1 rule. They went into the forbidden office. They found it caked in dust, like it hadn't been touched in years, except for one thing: fresh footprints on a chair. As they're standing there trying to process this, the ceiling fan suddenly roars to life all by itself. They run to the switch, they're flipping it back and forth, but it does nothing. The fan won't turn off. They realized they were not alone in that room, and they fled. And this event, combined with everything else, is when the factory's dark history finally comes out. And one number keeps showing up again and again: 4. Think about it. The cleric warned Amit of 4 spirits. 4 figures attacked Sonu in his room, and now the local legends are finally shared about how the factory owner had allegedly murdered and buried 4 of his workers on that very land years ago. And this finally explains why all of this started happening now. See, for years, the owner's brother had performed a yearly ritual, a havan, to keep the spirits dormant, to keep them appeased. But 2 years ago, that brother died under very mysterious circumstances in that same upstairs office. And with his death, the ritual stopped. With no one left to hold them back, the vengeful spirits became active again. And today, the factory is just shuttered, abandoned. After everything that happened, nobody will set foot on that property. The whole area is just completely deserted. The story of Amit and the tragic end for Sonu leaves us with this one really unsettling final question. It's a grim reminder that some secrets are buried for a reason, and some doors are definitely best left unopened.